Hi Divas, today's research question is, what is the difference between a person that achieves all of their New Year goals and a person who achieves nothing? What are the things that the successful person is doing differently than the person who achieved nothing? And are there any science-backed tools, theories, or strategies available that can make achieving goals easier? Because honestly, why is it so hard? I was just thinking to myself, there has to be some sort of science-backed tool that increases the probability of achieving that set goal. Like, there just has to be. Speaking of probabilities, you guys have heard me talk about living life via probabilities, and that personally has been a game changer for me in achieving the goals that I want to achieve. And it was while making that video, I began to wonder if there were any science-backed ways of making goals easier to achieve. After searching for a bit, it dawned on me that our entire process of identifying a goal, thinking through it, and achieving it are all incredibly flawed, especially for us women who operate on a completely different cycle than the world we live in, which is built for men. After pondering for a while, it became apparent that there are many fundamental things that make a goal achievable. One of the biggest goal killers for many people is procrastination. I began to look for papers on the topic and I read many. However, these two I'm going to talk about in this video today, I found to be the most interesting, and they give us some great actionable takeaways that I will give you guys the tools for at the end of this video. The first study was done by Herscherfield, who's a professor at my alma mater, UCLA. He published a research paper titled Increasing Saving Behavior Through Age: Progressed Renderings of the Future Self. I'll link the paper down below. His core research question was the following: can making people visually interact with an aged version of themselves increase retirement saving behavior? He used immersive virtual reality and age progression software to create realistic aged avatars of the participants. This allowed them to interact with their future selves. This was in an aim to increase the vividness and psychological connection the participants felt to their aged avatars. He also did another larger study with online participants who were given age-progressed faces of themselves, and their future face looked happy if they saved more money and sad if they saved too little. The study found that the participants' willingness to save increased significantly. From this study, we see how deeply psychological connections influence our economic behaviors. On a similar note, a smaller study done by Blumenhunden, I hope I said her name right, questioned if mental imagery can increase future self-continuity. By the way, future self-continuity means how similar and connected you feel to your future self. And she wanted to see if an increase in future self-continuity would result in reduced academic procrastination. It indeed did. Let me explain the study a little bit more. The study was done with 193 undergraduate students, so that's why it's a bit smaller in comparison to the other one where they had a lot more people and they also scaled the study. However, in this study with 193 undergraduate students were placed into two groups. Group A was assigned to a mental imagery condition, and Group B, the control group, were assigned to a present-focused meditation condition. The study was 4 weeks long, and they listened to audios that kept them in a present-focused meditation or walked them through a mental imagery of their future selves. So there were those two types of audios that they listened to in each prospective group, and both of the groups listened to the audios twice per week. The study found that the mental imagery group had an increase in future self-continuity, and this led to a decrease in procrastination. However, the meditation group also showed improvement on future self-continuity and procrastination reduction. Despite Group A having a bit more reduced procrastination than Group B, the overall study suggests to us that meditation may be a core part of being able to increase future-oriented awareness. And the repeated reflection on the future self may strengthen the temporal connection overall. What this study strongly points to is that future self-continuity can meaningfully predict procrastination reduction. We also learned that procrastination is not just poor time management, but also a lack of being connected to our future selves. So if we want to reduce procrastination, feeling emotionally connected to our future selves is really helpful, and the mental imagery strengthens that connection by increasing the vividness and empathy that you have for your future self. This helps to make consequences feel psychologically real. So you don't feel like, oh, me not going to the gym today, okay, it's just one time. No, you're thinking about your future self and how that will impact you maybe not achieving the glute look you're going for or whatnot. Therefore, reduces the amount of times that you choose to procrastinate. After reading both of these papers, it became clear to me that taking the time to imagine your future self is a very strong tool to beating the procrastination bug, because it helps restrict present consumption. This is why you're seeing that increasing rewards at the end of your goal aren't helpful most of the time, because making your future self psychologically real is what actually reduces your temporal discounting. I was really inspired by these two papers. I find them both fascinating, and so I created a guided meditation audio that embodies the imagination of your aged self along with the imagination of yourself in your desired state. Overall, this helps you to foster the connection of your future self continuity. I've uploaded it to YouTube all for free. I just want you guys to be the best version of yourselves, and you can find it here. I hope all of you divas listen to this and melt your procrastination away. All that I ask is that you keep me updated on your goal progressions. Also, a little bonus challenge, do this audio twice a week for a month and come back to me with your results. I'd love to hear it. Additionally, I am opening up my DMs/comments for research requests. So if you have a question about something you have been struggling with or you need a solution, feel free to let me know, and I might just do some further digging on it and make a video and a newsletter. Thanks so much for being here, divas. I love you all so much. Hugs and kisses.